All right, so let me talk to y'all real quick. So I sent the voice note, the one where I finally said the hard thing, the one where I stopped sugarcoating, stopped explaining, and just kept it a stack. I care about you deeply, but I'm done abandoning myself to stay connected to you. Girl, yes, I told him that. And then literally hours later, I walked into the same hookah bar where we first met, and he was just sitting right there. Mind you, I did see his car outside, but I don't got his license plate memorized, so I didn't know it was his car for sure. But when I walked in and saw him, I was stunned. We hadn't seen each other in weeks, and I wasn't expecting to. But my body clocked it before my mind caught up. My stomach flipped, my chest got tight, my nervous system whispered, brace yourself. His hat was covering his eyes, his face was glued to his phone. He had no idea that I even walked in, and I wasn't gonna make it known at first. I stayed seated, didn't rush over, but then I had to break the tension. I said his middle name just loud enough to be heard over the noise in the room, and then he walked over, gave me a hug, kissed me on the cheek, and said, "Hey, sweetheart," and then walked back over and sat across the room. A few minutes later, he texted me. I listened to the voice note and I just hadn't responded yet. I wasn't trying to be rude. And in that moment, I realized this episode is not about him. It's about the spaces we stay in after our body already said, girl, leave. It's about those moments where your spirit says, choose yourself, sis, and you finally do. And then the test shows up immediately after, for me, hours. And just to see if you actually meant what you said. It's about what it feels like to break the habit of self abandonment in real time. So let's talk about it. You're listening to O3, the Black Girl Formula, where we name what's heavy so we can move through it soft. We explore what it means to overthink, overfeel, and overcome as Black women making room for rest, truth, and a little bit of neurodivergence. I'm your host, Nell, and today's formula is about self abandonment. What it feels like to stay in a space that disrupts your nervous system, and what it takes to finally leave with your dignity and your truth intact. I'm not proud to say this, but I'm going to say it. I've stayed in so many places longer than I should have, and not just relationships. I've stayed in group chats that drain me, jobs that misuse me, conversations that manipulated me, and versions of myself that looked so good but felt like a prison. And I justified it every time. I would say it's not that deep or it's just a season. No space is perfect. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. But what about the ways I was hurting myself? Nobody else could always see it, but my body always clocked it. My stomach was tight, my sleep was light, my patience was thin, my energy felt like I was walking on eggshells in my own life. And I'd call it being grown or adulting. But the truth is, I was scared, terrified. Scared to lose the connection, scared to be seen as difficult, scared to not be loved or have to start over. But every time I chose them over me, I left a part of myself behind. And what's wild is, I thought that was strength. We're trained to lie to ourselves mad early. We learn how to smile through discomfort, how to shrink so someone else can feel big, how to stay quiet to keep the peace, even when that silence is suffocating us. And we give it pretty names like being a team player or giving grace, being understanding. I'm just trying to be empathetic. But deep down, it's just survival. It's just fear. It's just being too tired to start over again. We convince ourselves that it's noble to stay. But let me tell you something. There's nothing honorable about betraying yourself daily. If you're not safe in that space emotionally, physically, spiritually, then what you're calling loyalty is really just a long, slow form of self-erasure and self-abandonment. Our good sis, auntie, activist, poet, Audre Lorde told us, your silence will not protect you. And let me add to that, your pretending won't either. Pretending you're fine when your body's screaming, pretending to be grateful when you're crumbling, pretending to still want it even when every single part of you is pulling away. Because here's the truth. Anything you're not changing, you're choosing. And every time you choose to stay silent to avoid conflict, girl, you create conflict inside yourself. Your nervous system is not confused, it's conditioned. It remembers what your mind tries to forget. It remembers the last time you weren't heard, the way they made you feel small, the tone, the tension, the conflict avoidance, the fake smile. So when you walk into that space again, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a holiday dinner you don't want to be at, your body is like, not this again. That's the tight chest. The shallow breathing, the fake laugh, the brain fog. That's not random. That's protection. Your body is not asking you to perform, it's asking you to pause, to listen, to stop overriding your truth just because everyone else is comfortable with your silence. And let me be clear, when you're in that test, you feel it in your body. I definitely was feeling it in that moment, 10 feet across the room, and my whole body was on fire. That tightening, that hesitation, that old craving for closeness when you know it costs you. This isn't about being miraculously healed. Girl, that was yesterday. It's about choosing yourself in the moment so you can pass the test and not have to repeat the lesson. So let me ask you, where in your life have you been ignoring the tension? That quiet little alarm your body keeps sounding, the one you keep pressing snooze on. I want you to observe it. Not to panic, not to overanalyze, just to witness it, just to say something here does not feel like safety. What truth have you been afraid to say out loud? Because saying it might mean you have to do something about it. Then own it. That doesn't mean announcing it to the world. Just start with you. Say it in a journal, say it in a prayer, say it in your spirit, scream it in a room, but say it. And then ask, where can you start choosing yourself softly, clearly, and without apology? Then finally, opt out. Opt out of the performances, opt out of the managing other people's feelings while you bleed, opt out of calling pain patience just to justify staying. You don't need permission to leave the room. You just need the courage to listen to the voice inside you that already left. This week, we're back in the lab with another experiment, and I want you to pick one space, just one, where your body has been whispering, we don't feel safe here anymore. Maybe it's a routine you keep performing. Maybe it's a person who drains you, a habit of staying quiet when your voice is trying to rise. And I just want you to pause. Don't override, don't explain it. Just notice what it's costing you to stay. And then ask yourself, what does choosing myself look like in one space right now? Not forever, just now. Just this version of you. You deserve to feel safe in your body, girl. You deserve to tell the truth without fear. You deserve to stop abandoning yourself just to keep the fantasy alive. You don't have to earn peace. You don't have to spiritualize suffering. You don't have to stay where your body is already trying to leave. Your nervous system is sacred. Your truth is sacred. Your discomfort is not a nuisance, it's a message. You are allowed to want ease. You're allowed to say, girl, this ain't it. And you're allowed to start again. That's today's formula. Overthinking, overfeeling, overcoming. Stay soft, stay solid, stay you. See you next month.